Hello, everyone. I'm Kristen. Welcome to our favorite Friday show on the planet, Tea and Magic. Every single week, I get to host an amazing guest, and we talk about all things magical. I have a very special guest on the show. And by the way, this is going to be my last show for a little while. We have 22 great episodes that you can go check out on the Magic Grove and my YouTube channel, Kristen Netopak. So this is episode 22, which is a super hot lucky number. And I have Meredith Fromke, who I have known for eons. She is a master astrologist that is a goddess. I mean, there's so many queen. There's so many words I can throw out there that are accurate. She's all of those things. And she is going to be walking through my chart as an example today to show all of you how to use astrology to find your true love, to find your soulmate. This is like my favorite episode ever. How are you? How are you? And tell us a little bit about yourself before we start. I mean, tell us about your day. How are you doing?
Oh, thank you so much. It is so wonderful to be here. I hope my connection's okay. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. We had a little bit of a blip, but we're in the Northwest, like we said, so we've always got weather and other phenomenon happening.
Well, I love this. I'm in the middle on my YouTube channel, which is Soul Navigation on my YouTube. So if anybody finds the topic of soulmates interesting, I'm in the middle of my soulmate series. So I just thought how perfect it would be. And I kind of created a really fun hack that you won't find in a book. You're not going to find in, you're not going to really find it anywhere. But after, I don't know, I think I've done like 140,000 astrology readings for 23 years. I discovered that there's a pattern. There's this pattern and sort of a quick and fast way that you can really see if you're dancing with a soulmate. And if a relationship is really hard, oftentimes this is a soulmate. And then I started looking at twin flame relationships and soulmate relationships. And so when you asked me to do this show originally, I didn't know what topic I was going to do. So then I was just thrilled that we were going to continue this soulmate story. And I think your chart will be really fun to look at because it's a crazy badass chart.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Such a good chart.
Thank you. And I know Meredith has obviously read my chart before. Like I said, my first astrologist, not the first time that I worked with her. And what was I telling you? I'm a triple Aries. So there's going to be so many interesting things there. And like she said, you guys, Soul Navigation is her company. And she is the CEO and creator of that. Been doing this for 23 years. She has an amazing YouTube channel. We're going to put all of those links in every single video. So if you're watching this, you definitely have to check her out. And you have to watch not only all of your soulmate videos, but you've got videos on 2020 that I shared everywhere because astrology is just like we were saying earlier before we went live, it's such an amazing tool to be able to predict potential events and energies that are going to happen. And before we start, I want to just touch base on this because I feel people watching might be like, I don't know, what's this astrology thing? I mean, some people are going to be like, astrology soulmate, yes, and just dive right in. But there might be some skeptics. And I would love to hear from you when people say, I don't really believe in astrology. For me personally, I think it's a science, but I would love to hear your reply to somebody that might be a little skeptical to dive in and believe that they could, say, find their soulmate using astrology. And like, what wisdom would you give them about what you do?
That is such a great question. I've never really worked with people that I have to convert, but I have had conversations with people who don't really believe, and I don't think it's like my place to sort of get someone to believe, but this is how I will answer that question. And I do think that it is very much a science and it is an intuitive art. And when you blend the two together, and if you just sit down with me for a half an hour, I can tell you things about yourself that you've never shared with anyone. And so it kind of is like the art and the science comes together. And if you have a capable reader, because you have to have a skill set in being able to read symbols and and understand the mythology behind the symbols, but it just will reveal itself to you, as I'll show you in our little hack that we're going to do today. But I got involved in this, Kristen, and I have to do a little caveat before I tell you this. I created a membership program on my YouTube channel for like $6 a month. You get to see my behind the scenes videos, and you get to learn a lot of secrets about me and about astrology. And in my very first video, I talk about how I just talk about how it's really kind of sad how I was so desperate in my life. I stopped on a roadside in Augusta, Georgia, believe it or not, with one of those palms, neon palms in the storefront. And I talk about this story about this woman who read my astrology chart, and she was a gypsy, and she really royally ripped me off. She didn't have integrity. There's a lot of fraud in this industry. And, but she really did help me. She also hurt me, because she took advantage of my vulnerability. And so out of that blossomed an interest in astrology, but I wanted the currency to be two things: one, integrity, and two, love, and then authenticity. And so I created this company out of sort of being helped, but also taken advantage of financially, and she created a dependency in me on her. And so it wasn't a healthy experience. So I went to build this business in a way that I knew I could truly help people. How? By telling them the truth. And the truth is so painful, as you know,
a little bit, a lot of it.
Yeah. And when we did our readings in the earlier days, there were some hard truths to hear and see. It was painful, but also liberating, right? So I created this company out of true integrity, wanting to help people find their highest selves. And then what my clients mostly wanted was love and relationships. And so I became a love and relationship expert through my clients' desires and questions. And the charts just really speak for themselves. But it has been riveting and exciting. And now I'm expanding. I do like 30 readings a day. I'm exhausted. So I'm doing like 5 brand new things that are so exciting. And one is my whole YouTube station is just taking off. And if there's any members here or subscribers, because I can't see, Kristen can see, I can't see who's on here. Yes. I just love you so much. The community that I built over there is built in love. It is so rich and deep and rewarding and insightful. And my followers create that energy with me. So it's so cool. And then I have that membership where you get to see all the secret videos. But the other thing that I'm doing that's so exciting is I'm branding my company with products, and I collaborated with this beautiful designer. Her name is Dawn Wonder, and she made me this jewelry line, which you can see on soulnavigation.com. You can go to the shop, the pull down menu, and go to my shop. And on there, she created, this is my true love necklace.
Oh, that's the hot pink. We were just talking about that the other day. Beautiful.
I don't know if you can see it. But then I have other ones over there too, and I have a rose quartz true love necklace, but I thought it was appropriate to wear for the soulmates today. And then I'm doing my new moon manifestation bundles, and I'm making soul navigation t-shirts, and I'm so excited. I'm like bursting at the seams because I'm really stepping into it. After 23 years, I'm really stepping into this new place. I'm also bringing on collaborators to work with me. So when my schedule's full, because you can't get on my schedule very easily, yes. I have other readers that are psychic readers, mediums, tarot card readers, and I have amazing astrologers too. So I opened up kind of an audition, if you will, like an audition.
I love that. I love that.
And so if you know anybody, or if there's anybody out there listening that wants to be on Team Soul Navigation, I think I've found my top 5. But in the spring, I'm going to look at hiring another 5. So it's just bursting.
I am that is just incredible. And I'm not, it was funny because a minute ago you're like, I'm hitching my ride on the Aries. I'm going to do your chart. And I was like, wait a minute, you have all of this going on. And like you guys heard me say earlier, I've known Meredith forever, and truth and integrity really do not even begin to describe you. I think anyone can go to your YouTube channel and watch just one video and be like, wow. I mean, but you are truthful, but you're still very positive because you are coming from that place of love. Even with your 2020 video, it was like, here's all the shit that might go down, but let's stick with love. Let's stick with self-care. No, you're always empowering people with your messages, telling them that, look, you might go through some things, but it's for your own benefit because it's going to make you stronger. It's going to put you into that path of destiny. It's going to help you find true love. We have to go through those things to heal. So I appreciate that so much about you, is that you're not this like, I'm a hard ass, I'm going to tell you all the bad things, because there are some readers out there that will, it's like, wah, wah, wah. Here's the junk, bye. But you are so empowering. So I know that anyone that goes and watches your videos or gets a reading from you, as I have, is always going to walk away feeling like, okay, I'm aware of what might happen. I know that there might be some struggles. I know what they are. But you always give people the path to walking through love and healing and clearing that away to rise up. And so I just
Thank you.
wanted to praise you there because you're amazing at what you do. I love your videos.
I
And
will
yes.
say to that point, and I love that, Kristen, and thank you so much. And you're such a beautiful, radiant soul, and such a Venetian. You have Venus. I know you have a ton of Mars in your chart, but you have a lot of
Oh
Venus.
yes, I do.
And one of the things that I found, and I do really recommend, there's 17 videos in my 2020 playlist. And if somebody's bored, or if they've just had such a hard time, or if you're in Aries, Capricorn, Libra, or Cancer, you have to watch that 2020 playlist, because you are boots on the ground. You are like the Marines going in on the front line.
Yes.
And this life will, this year 2020, even back in 2019, it starts through 2020 all the way through February 2021, is maybe the hardest years of your life. And not just your sun sign, but if your moon sign or your rising sign or your Mars or your Saturn is, or maybe even Venus is in one of those four signs, you're really having sort of a destined year. And what I think it is about, and I talk a lot about it in those 17 videos, so I won't do that here as much, but what I think it is, Kristen, I think we're being ushered into the fifth dimension. And in order to do that collectively, we have to be stripped down. And I don't know about you, but yesterday, God, I got full body chills just saying this. Yesterday, I realized how deeply we are being proven, even people who don't walk around the world with any kind of sense of enlightenment or are awakened, they can even see more than ever, we are being taught, shown, and proved that we are one. We are one. And that's what this 2020 has been about. And so we're being ushered collectively, like everybody needs to go into the light, into the fifth dimension and grow. And the only way to do that is to create a collective breakdown. And that's what we're sitting in the middle of.
I'm on that wave. I mean, everyone that watches this knows I'm a star seed. I'm here to help raise the vibe. And just to add a little bit to that is that we last year, it was at 2019, we all made the decision. Well, enough humans made the decision that we were going to elevate into 5D, and now everyone has to. And it's not like we're taking anyone's choice away. It's that we all chose to go through this for the benefit of everyone, because at the end of it's going to be such a beautiful, beautiful, more radiant, high vibe Earth. And so like you said, this is really about just stripping away all of the things that don't serve that vibration, the negativity, the fear, and going through those turmoils and those trials. I know I'm a triple Aries. I'm Aries, Sun, Moon, and Venus. So even though I spent 8 years going through my spiritual awakening, this year I'm like, okay, hold on. Like there's still more to go. But you're right. Some people are being asked to kind of step into those leadership positions to help lead people into 5D at this point. And I feel like we are just two of those people, kindred spirits.
And those children that are being born right now,
Mm.
they are being born awakened.
Yes.
They won't remember this, but they are the pure essence of this movement and this change. And so it's really, really cool. And even my daughter, who's a young teen, and her friends and that age group, even those younger, 15 and younger, maybe 18 and younger, these young souls are far more awakened than your generation, not you,
Oh,
but your
yes.
generation and my generation, born in 1966, far more awakened. My daughter will oftentimes say to me, Mom, the way you said that was not really inclusive. What?
Oh yeah, but I had this conversation with another guest that this is just what we were born into, and how many years has it taken us to try to wake up, and now we're the ones that have to purge all of that. Like, God, I would give anything to be like 12 right now and just be like, I don't want any of this stuff. But at the same time, it has made us ridiculously strong human beings to be able to have lived in such a dense third dimension and to be able to purge and go through the painful process of getting to this other dimension, which is not fun. It's amazing, but it's not fun. So I know we're going to get started on this amazing soulmate hack in one moment, but I do want to tell you this. You just said people always ask about love and relationships. What's really interesting about me is I always ask about business and career and my destiny. So every time I have a reading, I'm like, okay, what's going on with my books? What's going on with my job? What's going on with my destiny? And every single reading, they'll go, so who's this man coming into your life? Like out of nowhere, they're like, we need to talk about this. I'm like, no, I didn't ask about that. And they're like, no, we're going to talk about this. So I somehow feel the universe. You had someone else's chart and you said, I'm going to do your chart. And I was like, okay, universe, you clearly want me to know some things today about my future soulmate. So my point is, I've actually never had a pure soulmate reading because I never ask about it. And so this is new for me, and I'm super excited. Before we start, you guys, she is about to put it in full screen mode and go through my chart. So everyone's going to see my chart, but like, have at it. I might not be able to see the comments. I'm going to look on my phone. So I'll be watching the video on my phone as you guys talk, and we can pause if I see some questions come up. But if you have some questions, definitely ask. But my screen in front of me is going to be taken over. So go for it.
Okay. So there's many different ways that, and Kristen, if you have a question or if you feel like I went too advanced and you need to clarify something, please do that, because I do that all the time. I forget, that I have to start a little bit more basic sometimes. But so when you look at soulmates, I'm going to give you guys a hack or a trick. And I'm going to give you a little tiny hack or a trick. And you need to know a little bit of astrology, but I'm going to make it kind of simple for you. And I'm going to share my screen with you. But first, I just want to say, while I'm up close and snuggled in with you, is that you're not going to find soulmates through the sun sign. So I want to just tell you really quickly how to think about this. I want you to think of the elements. So if you need to take notes, just take some notes. But it's kind of easy. So you have to think about the elements. So fire signs like other fire signs, water signs like other water signs, air signs like other air signs, and earth signs like other earth signs. So those are all compatible. So then there's two other kinds of compatibility that we like to look at. And those ones are called trines. The other ones we like to look at are called sextiles. And this is really easy to remember. I'm going to give you like the way to think about it. You know how you think about when you have a science exam and you have to remember things in a funny way.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that fire loves air. Whenever you pump the air onto a fire, or you make the sticks in a way that create more air, you get a better fire. So fire and air love each other. So fire signs, the 3 fire signs and the 3 air signs love each other. Do I need to say what those are, or do we think we know?
I think people know. Yeah, you're watching this video like, I know my sign. Now, I do have a question. So you a moment ago said not sun signs. Are we now looking at matching moon signs, or are we looking at matching the sun sign in the element itself?
No, we are gonna, but I want to just tell them one other thing real quick, and I'm
Sure.
going to tell you where we're going to go with that. You have to also remember the other sextile is earth loves water. So earth
Mm,
signs love water signs, fire loves air signs, and it goes in reverse too. Air loves fire
love
and
it.
water loves earth. So you just have to remember that each sign loves its own element. And then you have to just remember that you got fire and air and earth and water. Okay. That's all you need to know for this. Now, what we're going to look at, great question, is not sun signs. And you're not going to find, I'm just going to tell you guys right here, if you're reading a book and you think that because you're a Libra, you're going to go really well with a Gemini and that's a soulmate connection. It's not. It's a comfortable connection. It's a sweet connection. It's lovely, but it's not necessarily a soulmate. You're going to find a soulmate connection, and this is my secret hack, through the nodes.
Yes, of course.
Of
Now,
course.
that is something I think people might need a little bit of explanation on as you get into this, because I'm crazy about the nodes. I love the nodes. Everything is relying on the nodes for me, but I don't think that everyone knows exactly what they are and what they really mean and how powerful they are.
So my Bible, I hope I have it. Let me see if I do. I have my Bible. Let me go get it.
I have a feeling I know exactly what book you're going to pull out.
My favorite book, and you can do so much astrology with Astrology for the
Yes.
Soul by Jan Spiller. And in every video on my YouTube, I talk about this book. Look at this book, how old this book is. Oh my God, I love this book. So you have to go get this book and you can learn all about the nodes. This book is all about the nodes. That's all this book is about. And so I love Jan Spiller so much. And if you guys want to get to know her more, you can go on my website, Soul Navigation, click on the listen tab and scroll down. All my radio shows are there. And I interviewed her. And unfortunately, she passed away about 5 years ago. But I love her work. And I don't know, I just decided to carry her work forward. And through her work, I discovered through her work, do I have her other book? Right here, let me get it. So good. Cosmic Love. No, I just decided to, right here, Cosmic Love. I decided to carry her torch, and I read really deeply. So this is kind of, she's my mentor in a way, and I got to meet her once on the radio, and I just love her work. But if you can study Jan's work, you should. And then I put together, through my clients too, her concepts into how you can really discover a soulmate connection. And she's brilliant. She doesn't connect the dots like A to Z, but her whole mass of work created this experience and theory for me. So we're going to look at the nodes. But what we're going to do, it's really interesting. I just have to explain them really quickly. So the nodes are not a planet. They're not a luminary. They're not like the sun or the moon, but they follow the moon's axis. So they are a space in your chart. But what they really are, without me going into the science of it, they are the portal. They are the portal from your past life into this lifetime. And then they are the portal from this lifetime into your next lifetime. So they show me your reincarnation and your incarnation. They show me your soul's continued contract. They show pathway or gateway you came in on. So your south node will show me your hardship, your challenge, your baggage, your karma, your wound. It will show me the horrific parts of your past life. It will show me how you died. So it can be gruesome to look at. I won't go there in this one, but the nodes show me.
I think I already know all those things.
Right? But what the north node is, it's your north star, it's your beacon, it's the highest point in your chart. It's literally like the Star of David. It is, or whatever your beacon of light is. It's your lighthouse, your true north. And so when somebody's sun sign sits right on your south node, this is somebody from a past life who will wound you and will hurt you. And it is somebody who you will instantly feel so comfortable with. They might even be a twin flame. You will, and in my membership, okay, so in my YouTube membership where you pay a monthly $6 or something, by the way, you get tons of free stuff. I mean, tons. You get your free natal chart, you get your free deep dive report, but you get this series of videos that is so deep. You get all my soulmate secrets about my life, and I show you how it unfolds. I show you sort of like the dark side of it and the light side. But I just want to say, so if this is repetitive to my members, forgive me, but when somebody sits on your south node, you feel it at hello, and you're very attracted to your south node because it's what you know. It's the language I spoke in. It's the people I met. And that person is a part of your soul pod. But I guarantee you, you will outgrow that person. That person will feel infantile to you. So you really need to attract your north node. Now, your north node is also going to be really, really, really uncomfortable because you haven't done it yet. So it's sort of like when I meet my north node person, I don't automatically like them. They're like going to stretch me and grow me in a way that I'm not positive I want to do, right? Because I like my south node because that's what I know. But my south node is not going to grow me. Even now, if your south node is on your sun, that's really interesting. And if your south node is next to a planet, it is fascinating because there is still some juice in it that you need to do, but you better do it right. So you have to do the high side of that south node if your sun is on it. And could you attract and be happy with somebody who triggers, let's say your sun and south node are together, who triggers that south node? Probably still need to attract your north node, but it is also uncomfortable. So all that to say, soulmates are highly uncomfortable people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So do you want to
I'm laughing because I am an Aries south node and Libra north node. I'm like, okay, Aries, could you just like follow me around anymore?
Let's go.
I love that.
Okay, here's Kristen. And if anybody wants to cast the chart, I'll just read the deets. It's April 16th. So make sure you get your birthday presents mailed.
Yeah.
By April 1st.
Thanks, guys. I like crystals and
chocolate
and unicorns.
Okay, so April 16th, 77 at 6:18 a.m. in Olean, Olean, New York.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see the chart?
I can, yes.
So this is a perfect example of what I was talking about, right? So
there you go.
Right here, this is what a chart looks like. By the way, you guys, if you need to get a chart, you can go get a free one on Astrodienst. I think it's called astro.com now, but it's not nearly as easy to read as this. It's not nearly as beautiful. If you want to buy a gorgeous chart like this, where you can just read the boxes pretty much and get it, you can buy this off my website, soulnavigation.com.
Love it.
But right here, this is Kristen's sun sign. And this is what the south node looks like. It looks like an upside down horseshoe or a U. And then the nodes are always, always, always in the same exact place, but opposite of one another. So you don't even have to go look at this over here, but you can see, because she has a 24 degrees Aries south node, you'll know that she has a 24 degrees Libra north node, and this is the north node. So she's very fascinating person because I know she talks about being in Aries, but look at
ridiculous at this point.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Why we're red
But
today, people. Representing.
all of this is in her 12th house. So she has a Pisces filter
Mm-hmm.
on top of the Aries. And you can't just say I'm 3 planets or 5 in Aries. You really have to say I'm a 12th house Aries. Otherwise, people will be very, very frightened and afraid.
I know. I'm so grateful when I found out that I had all of these, all of my Aries are in 12th house. I was like, that makes so much more sense and makes my life a little less crazy because Pisces is that beautiful, watery, intuitive, magical sign, creative sign. I'm like, that just sounds way more like me. A little bit of a warrior, a little bit of the intuitive, magical creator.
Yeah, the spiritual. This is literally what I would say. Pisces, 12th house, spiritual, uh, Aries, Maverick, warrior. And the reason why I
Mm-hmm.
say Maverick is I wouldn't just say warrior. I'd say Maverick warrior or pioneering warrior is because this angel, this is also an earth angel, this spiritual earth angel Maverick warrior. Try that.
It's going on my business cards.
Yeah, get your business cards printed, reprinted, and make sure you put Maverick in there. And Maverick is because, Aries goes where nobody has been before. And that's a
Mm-hmm.
huge piece of mission. What's interesting about that, though, is you have your South Node right there at 24 degrees on your sun. So you cannot be in love with or fall in love with easily like-minded souls. You need somebody very different from you, opposite of you, in order to really make it work. If you found somebody who was just like yourself, which you'd be attracted to, one, it's your sun, which is your identity. And two, your South Node is saying, pick me. And because your moon is there and your Venus is there. So it's just so comfortable to be with somebody who is also a warrior and direct and knows who
Yep.
they are and confident. But then we have too much masculine energy in the relationship, and it's like bulls that can lock horns.
Been there, done that. Yep. With a Leo.
Yeah. So what's interesting about this, Kristen, is when you have your South Node on the sun, this is saying I was not happy with the way my life went in my past life. I really, really want to redo this. And I want a contract where it's possible to do, where Aries is facing impossibilities on a daily basis. Their
Mm-hmm.
whole life is a friggin' test. Like, how well are you going to deal with this impossibility? Oh, you did fairly well. Let's give you another bigger, better
Oh my
impossibility. How
gosh.
about this impossibility? How about this one?
We're
And so,
talking about the last 40 years of my life.
and the lifetime before that,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And so the whole test of Aries is how well do you run the obstacle course without it completely demolishing you? And so you set up your contract in this lifetime with your moon and your Venus and your lucky charm, your part of fortune and your past life and your sun all right there. So you got an extra boost of energy, positive, loving energy, moon, Venus, sun, to really accomplish the impossibilities. And I say impossibilities like that because nothing's impossible for Aries. And that's why today I was like, ooh, I'm going to hitch my wagon to you, girl.
Yeah.
Take me
We're,
where
we're
we're
like,
all afraid to go.
oh, that's why we're warriors. We're like, okay, this sucks, but we're going to do it anyway. And then it's going to be painful, but we're going to do it anyway. We're crazy
Absolutely.
like that.
So when you find a person, now I'm going to take it a little bit advanced. Okay. So nobody drop off and fall out because I'll come back and be basic again in a minute, basic astrology. But when you find a soul that sits right here. So this is somebody born 2 days before you.
Now, is that their sun? Oh, 2 days before this. So it is
Yeah.
really their sun sign is in that degree of your north
Yeah,
node.
when their sun sits on your south node, this is a
South node.
person. Yeah, this is a person who you know, most likely. If you have a relationship with them, not the guy in the grocery store who just passes you by and he's born on, the 14th of April, but somebody who you've had a deep connection with, who's born on April 14th. That is, you are looking at your past life with that person.
That was my ex-boyfriend. It's crazy. April 14th literally was the day he was born.
No way.
I'm not kidding. Before yeah, no, I'm not kidding. This is crazy.
I told you. So this is why when you asked at the very beginning, like, how do you talk to people who don't, believe in astrology? I'm like, well, let's just open up the chart because I let the chart speak for itself. I don't like proving things like, through chit chat. I like to show it, let me just show you.
So accurate. I couldn't believe you said that. I was like, wait a minute. You know what's crazy? I was just like I got like a message from his sister today on Facebook, and I was like, what are the odds that happened this morning? And I'm like, why is he coming up right now? That was so long ago. It was like 20 years ago.
Isn't that crazy?
We can't make this up, people.
When you met him, I have a feeling like at the moment you met him, I have a feeling that there was like a soul recognition.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens when you are involved with, now I don't want everybody to go like trash perfectly good relationships if they're like married to their south node or, a south node person, but I'm just going to tell you that you probably at some point will outgrow that person.
Yes.
That person will probably hurt you in some unintended, unintentional way, just because you've already been there.
Yeah.
You've already done the life and the lessons that they are here on earth trying to learn. So you'll feel like you have to pull them along, and it gets boring after even a year. That some signs can do boring a lot better. A Taurus could probably hang in there for 12 to 14 years trying to make it work, where a Sagittarius is just like, oh my God, I was bored in 5 seconds. A Gemini, no patience.
Oh my gosh, that's my Taurus rising. I was like, no, I'm good.
And also,
Oh,
it would be tricky for you because it would be kind of comfortable for you to be with a South Node person because your sun is there and your lucky charm is there and your Venus is there and your moon is there. But this is what I would say to you, okay? If you do have to attract an Aries into your life, do so, but only do it on the first 4 days of Aries. So that would be March 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, maybe 24th. March. You can date March Aries and be in the clear. But once it hits, April 1st, no way. And that's because the sun would be over here on your moon and Venus, and that would be quite lovely. So it's not like all Aries are cast off for you. But once you get deep into the last 6 days of Aries, it's not going to work. And by the way, every degree matters, but you can only know those degrees based on your birth time.
mm-hmm.
So I guess you can know all of the degrees of all the planets if you know just your birthday, but you're not going to know your houses 1 through 12 right here in the center of the chart. You're not going to know your houses, and you won't know your degree of your moon. And that kind of breaks my heart and makes me want to cry if that happens. Because if we didn't know you were a 12th house sun, there would be like, God, probably 70% of you that we would misunderstand.
Yes.
We would probably not see you in the light of a creative soul or an artistic soul, because all that Aries energy is so athletic and physical. Are you an athlete?
Yeah, I grew up an athlete. I played sports my entire life. Still a dancer, still work out all the time. So yeah, absolutely.
You have that. Let's talk about, sorry, I'm drinking my yummy tea.
No, it's all, oh my gosh, I didn't even ask about your tea. We just dove right in. Well, when we end, we're going to do the tea in the end. So
Okay, I have to tell you about my tea.
yes,
It's
yes.
amazing.
We'll save that for dessert.
So look at this. This is your North Star. It's your North Node. And I bet you anything, I bet anything, Libra men you're probably not as attracted to Libra men or Libra partners as well, maybe as much as Aries. It's our North Node is hard for us. I'm not necessarily attracted to my North Node. And look how lonely your North Node is. It's got Pluto as a friend. God help us.
I know. The dark planet.
Well, at least Pluto's, 10 degrees away. So it's kind of like your only friend in town. This is like living in a very rural part, a rural part of the world, and you can't see your neighbors. You actually have to drive
That's
down the
kind of how I
road.
am now.
You got to go find a neighbor, and then to walk to their front door and knock on the door, it feels really invasive. Like I have to drive my car up to their front door. That's kind of where Pluto is in your chart, but it is a neighbor, and it is down the street, and it's the house that you drive by that you're like, ooh. So at least it's not sitting right smack on top of you, but it's lonely. And what I would say about this Libra North Node soul connection, soul mate. By the way, soulmate isn't always marriage mate, love mate, sex mate. You and I can be soulmates.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we kind of are, because I put my moon right on your North Node. And so soulmates can have, and I say this in also one of my secret videos, one of my soulmates changed my life forever and was in my life for 12 minutes because he saved my life in a
Wow.
fire. And I don't even know who that man is, but he is a soulmate. I had a contract with him. I would not even be here today if it wasn't for that man. And I wake up and I have such gratitude for being alive, and I lend it to him. I don't know who he is, but so that can be a soulmate, somebody who saved you from maybe the elevator crashing, or pulled you out of a fire or whatever. So soulmates don't have to be long lasting bonds either. So somebody who triggers this 24 degrees Libra in a trine or a sextile or a conjunction means sits at 24 degrees, like is a Libra at 24 degrees, or, it's Libra is an air sign. So that if you are working with a 24 degree Gemini or a 24 degree Aquarius, they sit in harmony because other air signs like air. And then
Makes
you also
so much sense.
yeah, and you also know fire signs like air, right? So this goes back to the beginning of the video when we started talking about this. So anybody whose sun or pleasant planet, moon or Venus or sweetness, even a hard planet, even a Mars will trigger you in the right way. Probably would be a good coach for you. Like, hey, Kristen, I know you got 10 more sit-ups in.
So
Chat.
So to recap for everyone watching, and even for myself, it's these soulmates are 20 because of my North Node is 24 degrees. The soulmate is 24 degrees in that sign. So it's Libra, Gemini, what's the other air sign? Aquarius?
Yeah.
I always forget about Aquarius. But then also in the fire signs as well, correct?
Absolutely.
Got it. Okay.
And that's where I said I'm getting a little bit advanced, but
I love that.
And if you don't know where your nodes are, you can order a free chart on Astrodienst, and you'll get the degree, and you can look at the nodal axis, and then, or you can order one from me, but you have to know your nodes if you want to do deep astrology. And in my YouTube channel, I say almost in every single video, I do not do sun sign astrology. Like, we're so much better than that, right? So my God, time flies when you're having fun.
Oh, we're good. We're good.
Are we good? Okay.
Yeah, we're fine. Everyone here is probably like, oh my God. Yeah, people, my dad's south node is in Libra, which is my mom's sun sign. Yep. Everyone's
Are
figuring
they
this out.
getting
No,
it?
feel free to continue. Absolutely. I think this is great. Because
So,
I know people also are watching this thinking, you know, soulmates are people that are going to challenge you, but I do know that people are also looking for love. So it's like, how do we find that romantic partner that works with our chart?
so here's a really good way to think about it, okay? Because you have so much Aries in your chart, I know a regular, handsome, suave Libra, soul, is just not going to cut it for you. I just know it because your moon and your Venus is in Aries, and it's going to come in kind of feminine. But hold on one second. All you need is a beautiful trigger to plug into that north node at 24 degrees Libra. So you know that Libra is an air sign. So you know you can work with a 24-degree Aquarius, a 24-degree Gemini, a 24-degree Sagittarius. That's me. And also a 24-degree Leo, because all fire loves air and air loves air. If they're healthy enough for you, now you could meet somebody who's a lower developed soul and it won't work.
Yeah.
But a soulmate that's going to trigger that north node is going to be the kind of soul that you could build something lasting with. I have to say one more really quick hack to this. And I'm not
Oh,
going
you don't have to rush. Go for it. Yeah.
You talk so fast, I get so excited.
We always go over when we're doing fun. We always go over. If that's okay with you, it's fine with the guests. Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. Okay. So what was I going to say, Kristen? I was going to say that when you find somebody's sun sign, this is what I was going to say. Before the age of 36, and I'm sure that there are people on here that are not yet 36 years old, you are really going to be deeply enmeshed in the energy and the interests of your south node. And you are going to be attracting your south node to you like, I don't know, like bees to honey, right? So, gosh, and I have a lot of really good videos on that in my members section of my YouTube. And I won't go into all of it, but if you are not yet 36 years old, just know it's quite normal, because you're in your gifts, you're in your talent, you're in your skill set, you're in the language that you know, you're still 1 foot in the portal that you came from. That's why little babies, when they're 2 years old, if you've ever heard this before, they're born to an English speaking family and they speak French. They're remembering their south node, they're remembering their past life. But the person that you will grow into will trigger that Libra, and it's not going to be an Aries. It's going to trigger that Libra energy through those fire and air elements. And I say this, it takes a lot of guts to be involved with somebody who is triggering that north node before you're 36 years old, because that's energy that you're not comfortable with. That's energy you have to develop. That's where you are headed and where you're supposed to go, but you have not yet been there before. And if your sun is on your north node, oh my God, you are an advanced soul. Like you want so badly to develop that you are running away from that baggage from that last lifetime in total opposition. You are having a lifetime. It would be like, if this is this lifetime for me, in the United States, on the West Coast, blonde hair, blue eyes. And then my next lifetime, I grew up in a small village outside of rural China, in a hut somewhere, eating food I didn't even understand, speaking the language I didn't even know. That's what it would be like if you have your sun on your north node, something so foreign to you. So those people are massively courageous. So to pick somebody to build your life with before the age of 36, who represents energy from your north node, you're really courageous. And it might be uncomfortable, but don't give up unless they abuse you or hurt you or they're undeveloped or something in their own life. I also think that you don't really want to have a nodal axis reversal. So for example, if you met an Aries North Node, and let's go back and look at your chart.
Oh, the last person I dated had an Aries North Node. It didn't work out, but I think this is just so fascinating to me.
Yeah, so that's a nodal axis. This is called the nodal axis, this 24 degrees Aries Libra. So if she has somebody here with their North Node on her South Node, and then remember, it's always in opposition. So you do need to know the signs that are opposite from one another. And the way to do that is you just over here in this little zodiac sign, you just cut this in half right here at Virgo. So you just cut this in half and you just go, the first one lines up with Libra. The second one lines up with Scorpio. Gemini lines up with Sagittarius. Cancer lines up with Capricorn. Cancer and Capricorn, sorry, and Leo and Aquarius and Virgo and Pisces. So you just slice this and line it up here and you can see the oppositions, but the nodes are always in exact opposition to one another. So if somebody says I have a south node in Aries, you know they have a south node in Libra. So if you're dating somebody who has their north node on your south node, you'd think it'd be great, right? But think about it like this. Think about it as ships sailing. And so we've got my past life, and then we have this life, and then we have the next life. So I'm a ship and you're a ship, and where you're going, I just came from, and where I'm going, you just came from.
Oh my gosh, that was the last person I just dated, and my father. So crazy.
And then in this lifetime, so if you are where I need to go and I am where you need to go, and we meet right here in the middle, we're just having an earthbound journey to understand our next destinies. And I'm giving you information on the path you're going to, and you're giving me information and courage to embrace the path I'm going to. But we're two ships sailing in the night, and it's hard to make a relationship. You will feel like the stars just boom, they just crashed and put you together, and it will feel so magical for a little while, especially if you're not yet 36. But at 36, we really mature into the desire of our North Node. And we see that our glory is actually going to come to us, not from our South Node, but from the higher side of our North Node.
And now, if my North Node is in Libra, we talked a moment ago about 24 degrees in the air signs and the fire signs, except for Aries, because that's where my South Node is. What about their North Node, and how does that work in relation to my North Node? We just talked about the opposite, but would then a Libra North Node be someone that I'd want to partner with? Or are we really talking about your partner's Sun, Moon, Venus signs that you want to match up with our nodes?
That is such a good question. So if they have a North Node in Libra, then they're coming from their Aries past life too, and that could work. And you've met somebody who's on your same journey. So you guys probably came from a similar world. You're in this similar world, and you're headed to a next lifetime together too. So if you can't get it right in this lifetime, you'll have a chance to be with them again. What's interesting about that though is that basically every single person you went to school with, like third grade with and fourth grade with and fifth grade with, they have your node, because these only change every 18 months. So I don't really put as much weight onto that, because that would be every single person that went to Thunderbird High School with me would be my soulmate.
Yeah.
And I promise you right now, they're not.
Same here.
Arizona.
Same here, people. Sorry, high schoolers.
But what I will say is that's why you really need to know the birth time, so you can see what house the node is in. So here's something really interesting. You know that the 12th house is the filter of Pisces, and you know that the 6th house is the filter of Virgo. So if you met a Virgo that really riveted you, and they had some Libra in their chart, that would be somebody to really pay attention to, because your North Node is in the house of Virgo. So there's weight to that too. I know, it's infinite.
There's so many. I know I need a breakdown. Like, here's what to look for.
Well, you've got it. You're really good. The thing that in my next video, which I publish at 9:30 on Sundays on YouTube, every Sunday at 9:30 a.m., my next video is going to be about Magi astrology. And in Magi astrology, I discovered, I'm going to come on here real quick. I discovered the golden links, and the golden links and Cinderella links, that when you work with these 3 particular planets and they're in trine or sextile, you get a soulmate connection. And it is so fascinating. And you only need 1 golden link to, and you probably know your golden link relationships, but it's the dance. And I teach you how to do it in my video. I talk more about it, but in my next video. So I won't go too much into it here, but it's Neptune and Venus in Chiron, and 3, 6, 9. You can have up to 9 golden linkages, and I've never seen more than 8. And anybody who you really love deeply and you feel that mutual love with and from, so it's reciprocal love, you probably have a golden link with, and those golden links are like unbreakable bonds. They are beautiful.
Aww.
They often, so if you had somebody, Kristen, who sat negatively on your South Node in Aries, let's say, okay, let's say they put their Mars and Saturn and Pluto on it. It's like, woo, this is somebody who really hurt me in my last lifetime. That's what that's saying. But you had golden linkages with them. It means you guys have karma to burn, and a journey of probably deep forgiveness, unconditional love, beauty, peace, and harmony will be found in this lifetime. This is probably somebody who needs forgiveness from you. And with those golden linkages, you'll probably grant it. And forgiveness is what I have found is the primary key to enlightenment. And when you have a lot of those golden linkages, it's interesting. You find that holding a grudge is kind of impossible. So forgiveness comes easily, because Neptune and Venus are the love planets, and Neptune is like God's love, and then Venus is just the sweet love. So, and then Chiron is the wounded healer. It's what you're here to heal. So those golden linkages aren't always sexual. They're oftentimes platonic. Like my mom and I have golden linkages together. Of course we do. I can't stay mad at her. If I'm mad at my mom, oh my gosh, my whole day is wrecked.
Oh, I can't. I don't know if I've ever been mad at my mom. It's like I can't even think about it. Like how?
Right?
Like no.
When you were young, did you get mad at her?
Honestly, I got mad at my dad a lot. I don't ever in my life remember being mad at my mom. I'm sure I was frustrated, but I have to be honest with you, I cannot remember a single time in my entire life.
Well, look at this. Let's just talk about your mama real quick, because she shows up pretty loudly in your chart. Your moon represents your mom. And with your moon and Venus like that, it's hard to get mad at her.
Yeah.
And in the house, the spiritual house of Pisces, it's hard to get mad at her. And your dad over here is 9 degree. He's represented, I'm not saying he is a Leo, but he's represented as a 9 degree Leo. So your dad's kind of lonely down here, right? But your mom has all this love support.
Oh,
interesting. Very interesting. Well, that's kind of my little hack, and there's more hacks coming on Sunday.
Oh, this is beautiful. I mean, it's such a great breakdown. And again, like you have so many videos that people are going to watch this and go, okay, I need to dive in. And first of all, they could just book an appointment with you and dive into their particular chart. But while they're waiting, or if they might not be able to do that, they can go to your YouTube channel and find all these videos and then sign up for the membership and get all of the secrets. And you just do so much for people. I mean, even if they can't get a one-on-one with you, you've got this super inexpensive membership they can join. They're getting all the secrets to love and life and destiny. And you're just, that's your service to humanity. And what a beautiful thing.
Thank you, Kristen. You're such a beautiful, beautiful soul. And I love seeing that reigning Venus in your chart. You know, there's two things about you, and you put so much love and highlight so many incredible people through this series that you've been doing.
Yes.
And you can see that in your chart as service to others too, because you're Taurus rising, which two things that are really interesting. One, you saw that glorious, glorious Venus connected to your moon. I mean, that's just massive love. And it's in Aries, which is like rocket fuel love. Like be very, very afraid to have Kristen's love placed upon you, because it's massive, right?
It really is. Some people can't handle it. Most people can't handle it.
Come love me, baby. Anyways, and then you have your North Node, which is Libra. So you really need to make friends with your Libra to find your best self. And I think you're doing it through your graciousness.
I have, yes. I'm 43, so I've been through the whole Aries thing, and I'm definitely like, some days I'm like, am I still in Aries? And I have to remind myself, yes. But yeah, Libra, partnerships, love, you know, tenderness, yeah, being feminine. And I'm like, it's crazy. I'm so much more feminine now. Definitely grew up like a tomboy, so it all makes sense.
Isn't that fun? And just like the flowers on your background, and you might not have chosen that background and those sparkle pillows, you know, 10 years ago, maybe not.
Oh my gosh, no. And what's amazing is my dad bought this for me. So in South America, so everyone that's watching, that's why it's my backdrop, because there's an ugly wall back there. But everything in my life is sparkles and pink and fur, and you name it.
And feel good. And that's your North Node.
Yes.
So your North Node with Libra as your North Node, Venus is the planetary ruler of Libra. So Venus after 36 is like, hey, pay attention to me, pay attention to me.
Mm-hmm.
And Aries is ruled by Mars, the god of war. And then Venus is the goddess of love, Aphrodite. So you've got, you know, the god of war and the god of love playing with each other. That's the theme song, by the way, of your life.
Oh, absolutely.
And you have Taurus rising with that glorious Venus connected to the moon. And so that Venus up there is bossing your chart through the rising sign and the North Node. And so if it wasn't massively confusing before the age of 36, I would wonder if you were even awake. Because
I look back on that and I'm like, what? Was that a different life? Yeah, no, it's can't even get started on that.
What's so fun is that it's really fun when you like somebody, you can go see in the chart why. So what's really exciting for me with you is my Venus is at 22 degrees Sagittarius. So it sits right there on your North Node in sextile, because Sag and Libra, fire and air, right? And then my moon is at 22 Libra. And so it sits right on your North Node. And so it's very hard to not like somebody whose Venus and moon, just like your Venus and moon, whose Venus and moon are dancing with your highest best self. So it's just kind of a cool thing that you can look at soul connections and soul work, and like, even maybe, let's just pretend I irritated you. Let's just pretend before 36, let's pretend I irritated you. It's like, if you study astrology, you'd realize, wow, she's talking to my best self. She's not indulging me in my Aries, but I'm comfortable
so important.
there.
So important. Yeah. For people to know, especially if they're younger. And I know I got pissed off a lot of things when I was younger that now I'm like, what? Why would I even be mad at that? Because you're right. You are living in your past life. And I think that's so important for people to know.
And people who trigger that North Node are saying, I see something more for yourself. I see something better for you. I see you in a light that you don't yet see yourself in, because those people are trying to grow you. So it's interesting to take an inventory of your favorite people in your life and the people that royally pissed you off, the people that maybe saved your life. And do they touch your North Node, or do they indulge you in your South Node? So, you know, for the longest time in my life, I only dated men who sat on my South Node. Oh, like that's why I have a PhD in Scorpio, because my past life, right? You have a PhD in Aries.
Oh gosh, I'm if anybody can write a book on Aries, it's gonna be me.
Yeah.
Seriously, yes. Oh, I love this.
But
So amazing.
you were born such a blessing, and you know, you're really lucky to be born Taurus rising. And I always say about Taurus risings, they're born to experience life through being truly beautiful inside and out. They're here to develop and expand and grow
Yes.
beauty. That's why you got that smile.
Oh,
Did your parents have to help you work on that smile, or did you get it for free?
oh, you mean my teeth or
Yeah.
oh yeah, no, I had braces. I had Invisalign when I was later. I actually grew up with like crooked teeth, and when I was
That
younger, my
was the
parents.
best investment. If you haven't said
Oh
thank you,
yes.
you need to tell them, thank you, mama. Thank you,
Thank
dad.
you, mom and dad. Yeah, my sister had braces. So braces was like a thing back then. It's like everyone has braces. If your family had braces, you got like half off everyone else in the family getting braces. Yeah, and I love that because I am a Taurus rising, and I often look at it and say, I know I'm in Aries, but I feel so connected to that Taurus, Venus, loving earth sign, and the beauty and the liking beautiful things. I mean, I like my house. When I move, for all of you that have Taurus, you're probably like me. When I move, the first thing I do is I'm like, I gotta set up the house. It needs to look immaculate. And I have like crystals and dangly gold things and candles. You guys can't see my house. So there's flowers. I'm a big fan of fresh flowers. So yeah, it's fascinating for people that are watching too, how Meredith is saying, you know, you just go through these transitions in life, especially after 36, you're in that middle half of your life, and how your tastes just change. And all of a sudden, just like whoosh. And I have met men that indulged in that last life. And I was like, I don't know. in fact, I think after one Aries, I've never dated an Aries again. I was just like, no, no, no. I can't handle
Right.
you.
Pretty soon you get to, you're on a date and you're like, you know, your North Node and you know your South Node, and you know that your South Node is like, you know, whatever, let's just say your South, like for you, April 14th, right? So you're out on a date and you just dying to know, and you ask the person, when's your birthday? And they say, you know, April 13th. And you're just like,
Shit.
I'm
Oh
not even
my gosh.
letting myself like you.
Oh, sorry, TMI, you guys, but I went on a Bumble date, and before we even met, I was like, I need to know your birthday. I need to know everything about you. Like, I don't mess around. I'm like, look, let's not waste each other's time here. We need to know. I'm like, you at least know when you were born. We at least know your sun sign. We at least know a little bit about it. But no, I mean, I think it's so important. Like we talked about, it's I love what you said is soulmates, not just a romantic relationship. I mean, when you're talking about your friends, people that are going to be partners in business, collaborators in your creativity in your life, your boss, your whoever it is, there's so many soulmates that come into your life. I mean, you can't really control who comes into your life, but you can say, okay, I know this friend is coming in to teach me a lesson. What is it? Versus like they might be here to actually help me step into my higher self. And I think that's such an important distinction, because a lot of people, especially when we're younger, we do get that thrill of like, oh, I met somebody, it's all saucy and beautiful, but then it becomes toxic and you realize it's super karmic and they're sitting on that south node, and you could just work on it. If you knew, you could say, okay, what is it that I need to work on, and how can I walk away with this person, rather than, you know, thinking, well, when we met, I just felt all this lust. It's like, well, that's also karmic.
And
Karma can be
also,
very lustful.
absolutely, that's why we're so attracted to those South Nodes. But I love the idea of taking an inventory of the people in your life that really treat you so well, and seeing what they do to your North Node. My North Node is very lonely in my chart. It has no neighbors, no friends, no cousins, no nothing. It's got nothing. It's all by
Aww.
itself. and it was really hard to access. And I kind of resented the work of the North Node, and I thought it was so boring, my North Node. But anyways, I took inventory of the people who are truly the kindest souls in my life, and like who gets me easily, you know, who doesn't have to work real hard to understand me. And they all, there's 3 of them, every one of those people have their moon on my North Node. Those people will
Aww.
bring you a comfort that you don't even have to ask for. You know, you don't have to teach them how to love you right. They just get it. It's really nurturing.
That's
So,
beautiful. That's beautiful. I love that. Well, this was amazing. I'm going to have to ask about your tea now. See, we saved it for dessert.
oh,
We just dove right in and I completely spaced on it because this was so fascinating. But
well,
since it is, I love that we're doing it last because it is the last Tea and Magic episode for a little while. So,
oh
and
my
you have a
gosh,
story that I want to
I
know.
have the best story. So I went out and I helped this woman, and she gave me $500 to help her with a really difficult problem. I made a house call, and she was very wealthy. She gave me $500, and she said, but she's, and what I did was I had brought her my tea to drink with her. She was older, and I had brought her my tea, and I said, this tea is just so illustrious and so gorgeous, and it's my favorite tea, and they don't make it anymore, and they're selling out, and I'm going to go down to the mall, and I'm going to go buy all that they have, but it's so expensive that I was like really nervous. So she sent me with $500, and I went to Tivana before they closed, and I brought it right here to show you. And I bought like 80 of these,
Oh my gosh.
and I mixed them. This is my Tivana, and it's citrus, lavender, sage with
Wow.
berry kiwi colada. It
That
is
sounds delicious.
citrus, lavender, sage, berry kiwi colada. I think you could maybe find a packet this big on Amazon of each and mix it. Oh, and the problem is, I mean, this was $40. Isn't tea crazy?
Yeah.
$40.
But you had
She,
a gift certificate. Yeah. So
I wouldn't have been able to afford it probably if not, because I bought the whole store out. I'm like, if I love something and I know it, I just have to have it. So it's a complicated tea. Or most people like drinking Earl Grey? I don't know.
I don't
What are
know.
you drinking?
I drink cacao. I do drink tea, but cacao is my drink of choice. So I mix cacao with some honey and vanilla and coconut oil. And I just have this little morning elixir because I can't really do caffeine. So that's my happy time heart opener
Oh.
morning tea. Yes. Yes.
Well, I know it's complicated. It's 3 different things, but they made this blend at Tivana, and then I tasted it, and then that's how I knew to mix it.
I love it. I love it. Delicious.
It's been so fun. It's
Thank
been so fun.
you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here. And totally fine. We run over all the time if we're having fun. We're having so much fun. Thank you so much for going through my chart. I can't wait to look at everyone in my life at these 24 degrees, which is interesting because 24 is actually my favorite number, and I have no idea where that came from. So that's also fascinating because that came out of the blue. And if you guys are watching this on Facebook, you feel free to add comments. If you're watching it later on YouTube, you can add comments there as well, and we can track Meredith down. Remember that if you want to work with her and you want to go see her videos, you want to join the amazing, very inexpensive membership that she has, or book her, that information is going to be in all of the videos that you find in the links in the information section. So definitely go down there and find her and subscribe to that YouTube channel because she is incredible. That's the least that you want to do, is to get all of this juicy free information and free wisdom that you give to everybody. So what I ask my guests before we depart is there a last bit of wisdom, a last word of advice? It could be related to astrology. It could be related to 2020, something that's alive for you right now. Maybe something that you learned over this lifetime. Is there a last bit of advice that you want to give our listeners for life in general?
Wow, that's big. Okay, I didn't prepare for that, but two things come to mind, what I've learned through my practice. Um, Love always wins. It always wins. And the second thing is the highest octave of love is forgiveness. And if you can't forgive a grudge that you have in your heart, if you are feeling stuck, I think astrology is such a magical tool. It's like instant soup because you can see the story that you're locked into, and it probably is just a story. And those answers, those techniques, and those tools for forgiveness will be found in that North Star, where you're supposed to be headed in that North Node. So this what I showed you today is like way bigger than soulmates. It's your soul's calling and your soul's destiny too, which is found in that North Node. So study the nodes, and don't put as much weight on Sun Sign Astrology. And if you want to study, beyond the sun and Sun Sign Astrology, and I'm in Aries and I'm supposed to have a bad day today or whatever, that's what you'll find through my work, through being an evolutionary astrologer. I'm an evolutionary astrologer, and evolutionary astrologer works with the nodal axis. That's kind of what I would say.
I love it. Oh, I'm so happy that we reconnected, and it makes so much sense with all of our signs matching. Thank you so much again for being here. And again, for those of you watching, we are going to take a little bit of break on Tea and Magic for this season because I am writing my book and I am following my destiny. In case you're watching this and wondering, someone was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Well, I need to take this time to write." However, if you go to my YouTube channel at Kristen, you're going to find 22 amazing episodes by a plethora of people, and women mostly, who are filled with magic. So you've got plenty of things to watch while you wait. You guys can check that out at Kristen Nettlepack. That's YouTube. You can find the Magic Grove on Facebook, Magic Grove. It's a private group, so you have to join. And we are still talking in there throughout the week. Or you can find us on Instagram, The Magic Grove, or you can go to themagicgrove.com and find all of the links there. So bye, everybody. We will see you later. Bye, Meredith.
Bye. Thank you.